of them niggas like Eddie Jackson on 7 Mile with 100 keys. Damn.
Showed XXX inside the dealership that day when at least one of the suspects walked past him. A short time later, the drama unfolded outside.
On June 18th, 2018, while the world was mourning the loss of a great up-and-coming talent in Florida, I'm going to put together the story of another talent that was lost that day, Jimmy Wopo.
Community is mourning an up-and-coming Pittsburgh rapper. Jimmy Wopo was shot and killed yesterday afternoon.
Jimmy Wopo, or Trayvon Smart, was born on January 13th, 1997, and he hails from Pittsburgh Hill District neighborhood, Bedford Dwellings to be more exact. And you couldn't tell a story about Jimmy Wopo without telling the story of the Hill District.
Each winter, 30 to 40,000 crows flock to the trees overlooking Bigelow Boulevard in the Hill District. They come from as far away as 15 miles just before nightfall and spend the night en masse, perhaps for safety in numbers. Ornithologists also believe they gather near river water because it is generally warmer than the air temperature. While crows are social, their roosting behavior is similar to humans flocking to the mall or a ball game. There is some interaction but not much between individuals. Instead, the trees are like crow hotels where each crow finds its own room on a branch. In March, the crows will disband to breed and raise their young.
Police are looking for the gunman in a shooting in Pittsburgh's Hill District. It happened about 10 o'clock
this morning on a late-night shooting that happened in the Hill District. A man in his 20s died after he was
with
shot
the latest
in the
information on this deadly shooting. Janelle?
Pittsburgh police are still on the hunt for a shooter that is on the loose this morning after a deadly attack in the Hill District.
Pittsburgh police here continue to investigate this fatal shooting that happened after 8 o'clock last night in the Hill District. We know that the victim...
We're investigating a shooting in the Hill District that left a man dead. It happened just after 3 this afternoon at the Oak Hill Apartments. Police say several people were in an apartment with 20-year-old.
Lord, forgive me for my sins.
Wopo started gaining recognition as early as 2015 when he started publishing his own music online. But it really clicked for the Pittsburgh rapper when he released his breakout single, Elm Street.
We laning right now, man. We laning right now, man. Uh-oh. We laning right now, man. You know how we coming, man. We up on the lane, man. You know how we do it, man. Everyday shit, man. Me and the head of Quan live in effect, man.
What's going on?
What's the deal, man? What's the deal? What's going on, man?
And what part of Pittsburgh are we in right now?
We in the Hill District. I mean, some would call it the Hill District. We call this part right here officially the lane. I mean, the whole Bedford. That's my block. Chain froze like I got it out of the freezer part of the fridge. Niggas mad like they woke up on the wrong side. I'm on too heavy. You up the projects right now? Tell them what? And I'm in projects on 2 floors. Hey, look. What did he say? Chauncey Drive. Now some up there. Talk heavy. Only reason I ain't up Tommy Drive because I'm probably fucking your bitch. Like, next time I'm up Tommy Drive, I come up. I got choppers, AK-9s, all the like 10s don't even bother me.
Talk heavy.
Ain't no stopping me. My niggas gonna shoot.
Talk heavy. This hard to run into a motherfucker like this, yeah. That's facts.
You don't even gotta say too much, man.
He ain't gonna talk. He ain't gotta talk.
He don't gotta talk.
He said what he needed to say. That's all. Facts.
So it made me like I need to do. Like, it made me jump more on shit. Like you mean. But the second time, then that's when that's when I peaked. Like damn, it's all a cycle. Like ain't nothing going good. This shit gonna keep.
Now with all that, Gigi is combat, government dog back. Nigga is combat, Louis and Troy Medulla is mismatched. Designer and diamonds is mismatched. I fuck her and get her back. He Telling I catch me a snitch snatch. Bro, put the chrome in your chin strap. Why they say born some shit? Pass down what he told about a 10 sack. I fuck up body myself before I can live with a twin rap. I fuck up different shit. I told her to say how I go. Any man gotta go. Any man gotta go. Boy, what you know? Get to the motherfucking dough. Doing hits, keeping all shit low. Me and Fat Bro. Kick up a nigga, get smoke. Move bricks on the bench from the door. Had plans with the coke. On the bridge, fan in my coat. Keep it gonna hang on my toe, cause I said how I go. Any man gotta go. I fuck that hoe. Should've let my pics fuck around my friend. Said Project Jimmy gonna make her thick. This boy dick, and she gonna get sick.
But underneath that newfound success, old ties to the neighborhood, along with some missing heroin from which the feds would allege that would lead to a gang war with another crew, the Wavy Boys. And you know where there's missing drugs or missing drug money, bodies gonna start dropping. But before that, Jimmy will have to pay a debt to society.
Two months, 58 days, 83,520 minutes. Trayvon Smart, or Jimmy Wopo, used that time in the Allegheny County Jail to create.
It would just felt good to just have a second chance to, do it over, do the right thing.
Name is Jimmy Wopo, and yes, he released his latest single while here inside one of the cells at the Allegheny County Jail. We can't talk to 20-year-old Jimmy Wopo for this story because he's sitting inside the Allegheny County Jail. But that doesn't mean people all over the country aren't watching him.
Our total revenue stream has been $17,000 just alone in the last 16 months just off of YouTube.
$17,000 earned from ads playing during each of the 12 million views his music videos have received. His breakout hit Elm Street came out last summer with over 4 million views to date. Wopo's real name is Trayvon Smart, born and raised in the Hill District's Bedford dwellings. He's been shot more than 4 times, taking bullets to the stomach, arm, and leg. Currently, Smart is jailed on probation violations stemming from a trip to New York to meet with record labels, failing to meet with his probation officer, and some unpaid court fines. He was originally arrested on multiple drug charges in 2015. But Smart's music career is looking downright brilliant. His manager, 27-year-old Taylor Maglin, explains that the days of making money off CDs and MTV are long gone.
Everything is completely streaming now. So when I say streaming, I mean Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, Google Play. Every time somebody listens to one of your tracks, there's an automatic payout.
Those payouts and about $3,000 from every live show keep the team afloat. But with the star rapper locked up, some of it has dried up.
He needs experiences to write music. So him being in jail, I know it's a negative experience, but as far as music is concerned, it's positive for us because it gives him more content to share in his music.
Maglin, a Central Catholic High School graduate from Squirrel Hill with social media expertise, compliments Jimmy Wopo's Hill District hip-hop chops. They've both worked with Pittsburgh rapper Wiz Khalifa, who they credit with paving the way. But in a recent interview with Say Cheese TV, Wopo puffing out his Pittsburgh credentials.
For somebody, for me to be popping or for me to make it, it'll be different. It'll be more real. It'll be more, more Pittsburgh.
However, Khalifa and Pittsburgh rapper Mac Miller both embrace Wopo. Miller tweeting on July 15th, "Free Wopo, let that man live." Wopo's music is gritty, to put it mildly, with talk of crack, heroin, and lots of guns. And while Wopo has lived that life in the past and has the charges to prove it, Maglin says the music is just entertainment, and that it's up to people to know the difference between right and wrong for themselves.
Been chasing money since a young running around downtown trying to boost it.
For now, Jimmy Wopo continues to write new songs from jail. His next album will be called Back Against the Wall, a situation in which Wopo seems to thrive.
Multiple plaques, gold records, platinum. I think the whole 9 yards. This kid's going to be one of the top in the game very shortly here.
Now, Maglin, the manager, tells me he's hopeful that Jimmy Wopo will be released here from the Allegheny County Jail before the end of the month. He says when he is released, they're going to shoot a brand new video and release the new song all in the same day, the first day that he gets out. Reporting from the Allegheny County Jail, Bo Berman, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
It just felt good to just have a second chance to, do it over, do the right thing.
He's talking lessons learned behind bars just hours after his release from the Allegheny County Jail. Tonight, this local rapper speaks only to Pittsburgh's Action News 4, sharing with reporter Alyssa Raymond his plan to turn his life around.
Ryan, he has more than 12 million views, his music videos, and his latest single was released while he was actually inside of the Allegheny County Jail. And he expects his next song to come out sometime this week, either Wednesday or Thursday. He said he used his time wisely and he got right back to it after becoming a free man. Two months, 58 days, 83,520 minutes. Trayvon Smart, or Jimmy Wopo, used that time in the Allegheny County Jail to create.
It would just felt good to just have a second chance to, do it over, do the right thing.
Wopo says he started his first day out doing what he does best.
I woke up in the jail, so checking your bitch's phone again. Feel like 2010, all these honkies calling my phone again. I'm in your backyard again, nigga, no Nickelodeon. Pockets on a hungry shit, niggas is Ethiopian. Left the door cracked for these niggas, they still ain't open it. Took the cookie jar off the stove and got the coke in it. The fans got me showing my ass, so inappropriate. The Zans got me losing my stance, no more controlling it. Sure, I might forget who I smashed, the niggas hoe I hit. Still skinny Jimmy, what I look like on some bogey shit. Still pretty Ricky, I blow your hood up, low you can. My city, I need to go again. Trying to give Lane and G's hope again. I wrote the shit 2 weeks in with no pad and pen. Google paid rap for a lawyer if I go vote again. My mama mowing them. I'll bring me the win. I'm starting out my day with a chocolate. Then look on my daughter from my baby mamas. Then I stroke a steak, Benny Hollands. Like my birthday, I want cake and a Boston condoms. And turn up with my niggas like I never saw them. And pull up with my niggas like I never saw them. I'm starting out my day with a chopper. Like my birthday, I want cake and a Boston condoms. Just yesterday, I woke up in the jail cell. Came a long way from busting down them dope cells. I pray every day we make it off the food stamps. I just wanna watch my little brother go to training camp. When I cheddar up, hit socks and let the cheese melt. You ain't lose lumber with me, you don't know how I felt. I asked myself how I went with the hand I was dealt. It's like I'm pumping on the court trying to dunk on the field. Damn, and I got hit with probation violation. You asked me, shit, I just think my probation was hated. Riding the city with the calculated. 19, 5 for 1, 2 for the...
He recorded parts of his new music video where he grew up, in the Hill District's Bedford dwellings. While locked up, Wopo says he wrote 10 new songs. This one, called First Day Out, comes out this week.
Just something that the people wanted. I had fan mail when I was in there. People was telling me, first day out, man, first day out. Make sure you do the first day out.
Those fans exceed 29,000 on Twitter and surpass 50,000 on Instagram. Wopo says he shares life experiences through his social media accounts and his music. The 20-year-old raps about drugs and guns, but he says he doesn't condone what's in his music.
I'm gonna just keep a clear mind and know that, like, I can't lose this opportunity. It comes once in a lifetime, and I gotta make it happen.
Jail for probation violations and some unpaid court fees. This all dates back to originally when he was arrested in 2015 for multiple drug charges. And that probation violation comes from when he didn't meet with his probation officer because he was in New York meeting with record labels. Reporting live tonight, Alyssa Raymond, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
Still to come.
Now, do y'all remember when I talked about the missing heron earlier?
Now to a developing story, a teen murdered right outside of his home, just feet from his mother as he was headed to school. The emotional scene happening in central Pittsburgh in the Middle Hill neighborhood. Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Jackie Schaefer with what she's just learned about this 17-year-old.
The 17-year-old boy was just getting ready for school when he was shot to death in front of his home.
Why? Why do your kids kill each other?
Emotions ran high as relatives started coming to grips with a tragic loss here in the Hill District this morning. 17-year-old Eric Young gunned down as he was headed to school just outside of his Morgan Street home. Police say he was shot 3 times and his mother tried to save him. She was overcome with grief. Neighbors tell me they heard several shots just after 7 a.m. Police believe the victim was targeted. Young's mother had to be pulled from her son as investigators continued to probe for evidence. Holding on to one another, relatives could not make sense of the news and cried for justice. Police are asking anyone who may have seen anything out there to come forward with that information. At Pittsburgh Police Headquarters, I'm Jackie Schaefer, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
Just a heartbreaking scene, and just moments ago we received this statement from the Pittsburgh Public School District about Eric Young's death. It says, quote, "We are deeply saddened. Young, a 12th grader and member of the Pittsburgh-Malona 6 through 12 school community, Eric always had a smile on his face." Now, the school says counselors will be on hand today and tomorrow for any student or teacher who needs their services.
One thing I know about the hood, and the only way you would know is if you ever lived there, is it don't got no favorites. And the hardest part about making it out that bitch is making it to the car.
Up-and-coming Pittsburgh rapper Jimmy Wopo was just 21 years old. He was shot in a drive-by shooting right here on Wiley Avenue between Chauncey and Duff Streets, which is right where I'm standing. It happened sometime late yesterday afternoon. The other person that was in the car with him is still at the hospital in stable condition. Very famous Pittsburgh musicians like Wiz Khalifa, Mac Miller, posting on Instagram and on Twitter offering their condolences for this senseless crime they say only is further tarnishing the reputation here in the Hill District. We're going to have much more on how people plan to remember him coming up.
Community is mourning an up-and-coming Pittsburgh rapper. Jimmy Wopo was shot and killed yesterday afternoon in the Hill District. Megan Schiller has more on how he's being remembered as find his killer.
Famous Pittsburgh musicians like Wiz Khalifa and Mac Miller quickly posted on social media offering their condolences to the friends and family of Jimmy Wopo. They say that this crime only further tarnishes the reputation here in the Hill District. Here's a picture of 21-year-old Jimmy Wopo, posted on Instagram by Wiz Khalifa, a Pittsburgh rapper turned household name. Wiz wrote, "Rest up, bro, with a broken heart." Point Breeze native and musician Mac Miller took to Twitter, posting this picture with no words, but also just a broken heart. Here's what the crime scene looked like late Monday night on Wiley Avenue. 2 bullet holes pierced the driver's side window of this white Mazda SUV. Police say that shooter hit Wopo and another man from close range. Wopo died as soon as he got to the hospital, and the other victim is in stable condition.
I was just with him last week, and he was just giving me inspiration about the music. Because he was on my street, on Cliff Street, and he was just telling me, you know, like, don't ever stop the music and stuff, because I rap too.
The double drive-by stopped all traffic right before rush hour.
It's just hard, like, making the whole Hill District just look bad.
As groups of people stopped to watch investigators.
He was definitely, like, my idol, like, my inspiration for real.
Wopo's manager, Taylor Maglin, tells KDKA he can't eat, can't sleep, and can't even believe this senseless crime. He posted this about the up-and-coming rapper. "Cherished every moment working with you. Can't believe you're gone." And Wopo's manager tells me that he was just about to sign a really big deal following in Wiz Khalifa's footsteps. He says he hopes that Wopo's shooter is put behind bars. Reporting in the Hill District, Megan Schiller, KDKA.
Millions of people gathered in the Hill District this morning to remember the life of Trayvon Smart, most notably known as rapper Jimmy Wopo. Megan Schiller talked with Wopo's manager about how they plan to keep his memory alive through music.
A drive-by shooting on Wiley Avenue in the Hill District claimed the life of 21-year-old Trayvon Smart, known on the Hill and in the rapping community as Jimmy Wopo.
This is a huge loss for the city, as I said before, but seeing the amount of people that showed up shows that how much support, shows the support system that he had, and just shows how much he meant to the community as well as the whole city.
Friends and family gathered Friday morning for his funeral as police continue to search for his killer. His manager keeps Wopo's followers in the know about the investigation on social media.
As far as I know, the police department hasn't made a public statement. I don't have any further information at the time.
On June 18th, Wopo and another man were in a car on Wiley Avenue when another car pulled up alongside them and opened fire. Wopo died, and the second victim underwent surgery, and he will recover. And as police continue to search for the suspect, Wopo's manager plans to keep his memory and music alive.
We have multiple songs ready to be released. We have 2 albums that are already completed, ready to release. I'm working with the city and setting up an official day Wopo Day, get a mural painted in the Hill District of him, just, to keep his memory going. Because, I mean, he was a huge figure to this part of town, so I wanted to, do as much as I can for that.
How do you remember first hearing Wopo's music? How did you come into contact with the music? I know you from Pennsylvania. Did you hear it just like through the grapevine, or did somebody tell you about it, or did you know him before the music?
No, actually, what's funny is my business partner, his name's Jake Stoss, he introduced me to Jimmy's music in 2015. And we and him we own that media outlet, the Daily Loud. Heard of it, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Say it again.
The Daily Loud.
Yeah, the Daily Loud. Yeah.
Yeah. So me and him own that together, my business partner and I. And we came across it, or he came across it first, and he gave it to me. And I was following since 2015, and that's kind of like January 2015 is when my partner introduced me to his music.
You remember? Now when he first played it for you, do you remember like what stood out? Was it the music? Was it because he was from an area that you guys known about, or was it a mix of everything?
I would say it was his rawness, the fact that like you could just tell he was just so authentic, and like being from Pittsburgh, obviously like I knew what part of the city he was from, and like he really rapped about what he was going through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was just so real, and I felt like people could see or hear how real it was, and that's why it touched so many people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like how so it like took off really fast. Everything like seemed like it happened for Wopo really fast.
Yes.
How what was it like? Have you worked with another artist where like catapulted that fast?
Well, prior to Wopo, I mean, there was a couple artists that I was working with, but I wasn't as fully invested as I was with Wopo. Like, I was fully invested with Jimmy, where the other guys, I was just helping them on the marketing side, but I was fully managing Jimmy. You know what I mean? So it was different.
Okay.
But Jimmy, with him, yeah, you're right, it blew up so fast, like, because he had, like, the physical presence, like, people already knew who he was in the city, and then he was just touching the online side, and like his videos were starting to boom, everything was starting to grow at a fast pace, and then like, I've been working in online for a while, like how to market correctly, how to, target your audience, how to, execute, the releases, like, in a timely manner, like, so that's kind of what I helped him with. With his music, but he already had a presence, and that was the point, like, he already had the streets and the city behind him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then from that point on, me and him just took it to the national level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I guess it was like, sometimes it's just the perfect storm, because you definitely look like you know what you're doing, as far as like the marketing, as far as the managing, as far as probably just handling the overall product and getting it to where it needs to be done. And the other perfect storm was he based on I guess like the neighborhood, it seemed like he already had a presence, because I put like a little I put up a little trailer, and it's like he was they got like, they say, well, it's you popular, and then you're a star, and then you're a superstar. It seems like he was like a star, trending to be a superstar nationally, but he was definitely a superstar like in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, people see him as a legend out here, 100%.
Yeah.
Someone who'll never be forgotten.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Like, another thing too, it seems like the kids in his neighborhood, like, it meant so much to them to see somebody come out of that struggle, out of that environment, to make it to where he was. Like, that was just so inspiring to those kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just crushed these kids when, you know, everything happened. I mean, our whole city was crushed. You know, even me. I mean, I'm still not right now. I can't even lie to you. You know what I mean?
I see. And another thing is because the media, they try to portray the bad side, but I heard a victim. I heard, like, I guess supposedly or allegedly, because you never really know. I'd like covered these stories so much. I kind of, if I wasn't there, even if it was like police, if the police said it, it's like it's still all alleged because I can't really say 100% from my fact. But they had a lady that they alleged was a victim of, I guess, something. Maybe it was something to do with the people that he was hanging out with, and she was saying how he did a lot for those kids in that community. So it's not only just seeing him transition. It sounds like he was looking out for them. He was a role model to the kids in that community.
You know, he would try to do things like, you know, he bought like the Hill District Rebels, they're like a midget league, like midget football, like out of the neighborhood. He bought them all new uniforms out of his own money. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And like, you know, he was actually in the process of setting up like a football camp for the kids during the summertime, and he was going to fund it all so they could come for free. You know, so it was like there's a lot of things that like people just aren't aware of that he was actually trying to do positive things. You know, and it's a shame like that. You know, we're here now. You know, it just sucks.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But like the media does try to portray a negative image on him, but they fail to mention all these other things that he was about too. You know, he would give money to kids when they would come up to him. He'd buy them ice cream, give them money. Like he would just do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know,
sounds like a real good dude, to be honest with you, just based on everything and almost hearing him talk, because just after like me doing the coverage, that's like seeing the interview when he was like first released from the stint that he had to do in prison, and it definitely seemed like he was like right there from just transitioning. Now I also seen on the news where they said that y'all got some stuff that y'all want to put together. That's another thing. I kind of want to put that to the audience. That way he can get his music out as far as possible.
Yeah, so like at this point right now, I mean, we have like 2 projects that are completely done, that are ready to be released. I'm just waiting on his family to like, you know, let me know when they're ready to release. And you know, his mom's kind of overseeing everything now, so I'm just waiting for her to, you know,
put the word in.
Let me know when she's ready. Yeah.
Now, if you don't mind, go ahead and tell the people everything else that you the previous work. I know he had the Guapanese project.
Yeah, Guapanese. He has Jordan Kobe. He has the collaborative project with Hardo Japanese. And then he has, he has multiple projects. We got, I already mentioned that we got Back Against the Wall. That was the most recent one that was released. And then, like I said, we got Money Lane Music Part 1, which was him and his camp. That was released over almost a year and a half ago. And then Jordan Kobe, which was the follow-up from that one. And then Back Against the Wall, which was a follow-up from Jordan Kobe. And then, you know, like I said, we got 2 completed projects. We're just trying to solidify a release date and like release it in like a timely fashion, so you know we can keep his music alive as long as possible.
In the Hill District, Megan Schiller, KDKA.
3 alleged members of a violent street gang in the Hill District now facing federal charges.
And investigators say murdered local rapper Jimmy Wopo was one of the gang's leaders. Authorities say their crimes ran the gamut from murders to robberies to drug trafficking.
They allegedly bragged about their exploits in rap videos posted on YouTube. Ralph Iannotti is here with more on this. Ralph.
Yeah, thanks very much, Ken. U.S. Attorney Scott Brady announced the indictment late this afternoon. A federal grand jury indicted the gang members on RICO charges. Deontay Griffin, Sidney Pack, and Richard Kelly indicted on federal racketeering charges. Officials say they all ran with a gang that called itself 1100. Officials said the gang operated out of the Hill District, with most members living either on Memory Lane or Borough Street. Up-and-coming Pittsburgh rapper Jimmy Wopo, who was shot and killed in June, was named extensively in the indictment. Officials say he was one of the gang's leaders because of his notoriety as a locally popular rap artist. Wopo reportedly gave orders to commit robberies or shoot rival gang members. If Wopo was pleased, he'd include the gang members in his rap videos or give them something of value. If one of the gang members fell short of his expectations, officials said he would have them harmed. Investigators say the gang made no secret about their crimes. They boasted about them in rap videos like this one that they posted on YouTube. They also used the rap videos to warn members about what would happen if they were disloyal to the gang. Officials say they were behind a long list of shootings, killings, and home invasions in their battle with a rival gang called Wavy Boys. U.S. Attorney Scott Brady said the gang terrorized city residents. Today, it ends. Now, Griffin, Pack, and Kelly are all in custody. Griffin and Pack will appear in federal court tomorrow. Police say the gang has been running the streets of Pittsburgh for the last 6 years. As for Wopo, there has been no arrest in that killing. I'm Ralph Iannotti.
Suspected members of a violent street gang from the Hill District are in jail tonight, facing federal racketeering charges.
They are accused of being involved in everything from murders to robberies to drug trafficking. And police tell us that one of their leaders was murdered rapper Jimmy Wopo. Ralph Iannotti is live tonight with some new details on this big investigation. Ralph, good evening.
Yes, good evening, Julie. They used to brag about their criminal exploits on rap video on YouTube. Well, tonight it looks like a local street gang has been put out of business. 22-year-old Deontay Griffin, 20-year-old Sidney Pack, and 23-year-old Richard Kelly all facing federal racketeering charges. Prosecutors say the three young Hill District men were members of a violent street gang called 1100.
The gang has effectively been dismantled. We have taken out its leadership.
Federal court papers say the most prominent leader of the 1100 gang was Pittsburgh rapper Jimmy Wopo, whose real name was Trevone Smart. Wopo was not charged in the new indictment. He was identified in the court papers by the initials TS. No one has been arrested in connection with Wopo's murder.
He directed murders and attempted murders. He was active in both rewarding the gang members who were participating in those activities and using his prominence in the music videos, which we lay out in the indictment, to both propagate the message of the gang, but to intimidate people.
The 1100 gang, according to prosecutors, was responsible for the murders of at least 3 rival gang members, including 20-year-old Christopher Richardson, who was shot and killed in 2015. Richardson's mother, who did not want to be identified for her own safety, was relieved by the new arrests, but worried about the mixed message the alleged criminal activity of Wopo and the others sends out.
He did a lot for the kids in the community. The opposite of him doing a lot for the community was he was ordering people's family members to be killed. My son is one.
The message is that if you're a violent gang in Pittsburgh, we're coming after you.
Now, according to today's unsealed indictment, members of that Hill District gang were required to commit acts of violence to maintain their membership and maintain discipline. We're live tonight outside the federal courthouse downtown. I'm Ralph Iannotti.
A rapper about to break through, killed in a drive-by shooting.
Jimmy Wopo had quite a following and was known beyond the Pittsburgh rap scene. But his career all ended yesterday when he was shot multiple times in the Hill District. Friends flooded social media after the fatal shooting.
Tonight we're learning that he was no stranger to the police. Investigator Marty Griffin has more on why he was well known to police. Marty.
Well, police sources confirm that detectives are out on the streets right now trying to determine if, in fact, the rapper was involved in several shootings. Police sources indicate Wopo being looked at in 2 homicide cases. Meantime, I spoke to his attorney a short time ago. He says no way. Says the rapper was a good man who was out of the so-called thug life.
We lit like incense, bricks coming through the entrance. My trap house got no fence.
Rapper Jimmy Wopo, the 21-year-old, gunned down in the Hill District last night. following the shooting, two very different characterizations of Wopo emerging. Police sources confirm Wopo is being looked at for his possible involvement in two homicides. One police source calling Wopo a Hill District terror. Another police source said